popcorn. Okay. Was Black Widow good? That's what we're here for, folks, because we are Was It Good? I'm Ravi. I'm here with my brothers Christian and Arjuna, and Mr. Michael is sitting to my left in the producer's chair. Let's get into it, folks. It was our first time back in the movie theater since COVID started, and everyone, I need you to rate your popcorn and the overall smell of the theater.
Well, it was that's a lie. This is like my 6th time back in the theater.
What?
Since COVID.
You've been breaking COVID protocols?
Yes.
Broke them Unbelievable.
But my popcorn was a 4 out of 10.
Really? Whoa. Well, now we should preface this as we did see an 11:15 p.m. showing of this movie. So actually, that's kind of an important tidbit because as we discuss this movie, Black Widow, I think it would be wise to keep that fact in mind.
That we watched
extremely late.
It was extremely late, and we also saw this. We're also old,
and also detrained from the theater experience.
There's that, but then we also watched this movie in July, and we watched it in an area of LA known as the Valley, which is traditionally 5 to 10 degrees hotter than what Los Angeles City is in terms of temperature. And for some reason, AMC was very skimpy on keeping the AC running consistently. I do as well. And the theater was packed as well. So the reason I brought up rate your popcorn and the overall smell of the theater, because the theater was hot, sticky, and it did smell like, I'm just going to say fans. Marvel comic book fans. It's the term.
Are you sure it wasn't
my upper lip? Yes, I am sure of that. Christian didn't smell. It was right next to him.
But you said you smelled that and it was pungent there.
So I mean, the overall, I don't know if you all saw,
Because here's the thing. I didn't smell anything
really
out of the norm.
Oh,
so maybe
man.
it was me.
Oh.
If you smelled it and I didn't, and I was sitting next to you.
Melt it, dealt it.
Yeah.
Jomi, so my friend Jomi is in our comments. Jomi, the popcorn was 4 out of 10.
Real quick, can we go back? We're completely off topic here. Yeah. When we have a comment, you always have to identify who the person. I get that. But maybe the individual, don't want to be identified.
That's true.
Sorry, Jomi.
Yeah. Sorry, Jomi. Social security number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Sorry, Jomi. At 4 Privet Drive.
Privet? That's a Harry Potter reference.
Yeah.
Anyway, let's get into it, guys. Let's, as always, let's break our, break into this podcast, this review of Black Widow with our one-word impressions. And our one-word impressions, I'm very excited for this time because I have always said with our one-word impressions, it can be about the actual movie itself, but it can also be about the movie experience.
Yeah.
And I think that is very, very, very important. Because
are we all gonna have the same word?
Maybe. Should we all just say it at the same fucking time?
Let's say it.
Because this is Arjuna has seen movies in the theaters before Christian and I. I have seen one movie by myself recently. It was in the middle of the day, work day, and hey, I do whatever I want. I saw a movie, and it's a different experience compared to when you see a big blockbuster, especially when the large group of friends, right? So let's all together at the same time say our one-word impression of Black Widow, the first movie that the three of us saw as a group since COVID, or since before COVID started. Ready? So here we go. 3, 2, 1.
Family.
Oh, wow. This is
What did you say?
Definitely.
P.
Why did you think we will all say P?
No, I didn't think I was going to say P. I just wanted it to be different here.
Yeah. It's definitely family.
That's interesting. That's interesting.
It was because of my popcorn tin.
It was your popcorn tin?
First off, probably the coolest popcorn tin I ever got. It's a Fast and Furious one, but there's three tires and each section rotates.
Oh, that
is really cool.
Sounds high.
Popcorn was terrible in it. It wasn't terrible. It just was a little stale and wasn't the best. Had been sitting in there for a while.
Sounds like average popcorn, to be honest.
And then, Christian, you're saying family because?
Well, because, this movie, Black Widow, is about Black Widow's family. Or, quote, family, her fake family.
Fake family.
And the whole movie, I just kept thinking of the relatively new and infamous Vin Diesel meme that's been circulating around of him from any Fast and Furious movie. Where it's like, I don't have friends, I have family, or any other iteration of that idea. And I just kept thinking of that.
Basically, the idea with that is like anything is possible with family.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
and that's the movie show that. So I went with P. for a simple reason of
I know exactly why.
because it was like
Oh, yeah.
this is the first time I'm seeing this movie Black Widow, right? And I want to preface this real quick. I'm not saying the movie was piss. I'm not saying it was bad in that sense, but it was the one thing I will forever remember about my initial experience of seeing Black Widow,
That's a shame.
the Marvel movie in theater. And that's because halfway through the movie, I had to like break that cardinal rule of being the dick that gets up and crawls over people to go and pee.
Oh, you left.
I had to leave and go and pee because all I could focus on was like, I need to fucking pee. And it's because I have not been in a theater where you're kind of locked in a dark room for 2 hours plus
Movie etiquette.
in a long, long time. So like I have to retrain my bladder. This is probably way too much TMI.
I thought
TMI,
you were going to
by
go
the way.
with pee because about halfway through the movie,
Yeah.
the character Alexei is trying to give a pep talk to his fake daughter Helena. He's like, I am ice fishing with my father. My hands fall in. He goes to toilet on my hands. Urine is 35 degrees Celsius.
That was my so I mean P
greatest
also works
story.
there because that is my favorite part, and that also is my favorite
good.
character of this movie is Alexei or the Red Guardian. So
You
it
mean
works
not the
out well,
Crimson Dynamo.
Crimson Dynamo.
which is an actual Marvel villain character, or whatever.
Oh, really? Different
Yes.
than the Red Guardian?
Yes,
Oh,
yes. Russia has its own like Avengers thing.
Nice.
It's very clear that Jack Kirby and Stan Lee were not fans of Russia.
Wait, really?
Yeah, big
Whoa.
surprise.
Well,
Americans.
You also have to remember when a lot of these comics came out, there was the Cold War and there was the Soviet and the America versus Russia type of stuff. I mean, think of like, Rocky IV.
Straight
America versus Drago. Rocky versus Drago. Like, that was a lot of the media.
They solved the Cold War in that movie.
Yeah, they
fixed
clapped and they loved each other.
Well, don't you think Marvel sometimes imagines that they've like figured out the Cold War as well, where it's like America clearly won and Russia is the second-rate thing, and ha 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 ha. Ha. Anyway, let's as we're on this Russia kick, let's talk about a couple of like the Russia tie-ins to this movie, Black Widow, and other events within the Marvel Cinematic Universe. So this movie starts in Ohio. Never been there. Probably won't never go. In 1995. Real quick, is there a reason to go to
Yeah, there's
Ohio?
there's the Pro Football Hall of Fame.
Anyway, no reason to go to Ohio.
I've been there.
Nice. So the movie takes place in 1995, which is an interesting year. Does anyone know why?
Well, you told me.
I told you. Do you know why?
In 1995,
In the Marvel Cinematic Universe.
something Captain Marvel.
Another movie that was just kind of thrown there to kind of push the overall Marvel story ahead due to the end credit scene, Captain Marvel, takes place in 1995,
Something Captain Marvel.
which is interesting.
Got it.
Then this movie also states that the fake Russian family was in Ohio 3 years, meaning they got there in 1992. And in the end of 1991, a little guy, very small part in the cinematic universe, known as Howard Stark, was brutally murdered by another wannabe character, Winter Soldier,
In 95?
in 91.
90,
and they arrived in 92. So Russia was very kind of hardcore, like, let's invade the United States. I don't know. So fun
Maybe
stuff
they're
there.
going to make like the Americans, but like a Marvel version.
Did you watch The Americans?
No, I saw like probably a ton of trailers every season, like promoting that show. Never watched it though.
You never found it like to be interesting, or
No.
Yeah. Yeah. no,
Okay.
I'm good.
And I feel like now that I saw the opening 10 minutes of this movie, I'm like, I think I get the idea of the show. That's it. It's just the invasion of one country to another country with Kraft mac and cheese.
Wow, the art of being dismissive.
So it's a movie.
Oh, man. What a start.
What I mean, I've already started here. Like, come on, catch up here. Let's start with Christian. You haven't spoken a whole bunch here. Before we kind of like get into the bigger like talking points here, like, I don't want to be the negative Nancy in this room.
Yeah, you shouldn't be.
Do you guys have any part? I already said my favorite part.
I think there was a lot of good things about this movie that I really enjoyed.
Let's hear it, yeah.
So, like you already mentioned it off the top, David Harbour's character, Red Guardian, Alexei, he was hilarious. He really captured the essence of being this like self-centered. Yes.
Sorry, Alexei. Isn't there a character in Stranger Things named Alexei?
Yeah.
Oh my God! That just clicked in my head.
But
the
it's
guy
not.
he makes fun of.
But it's not
Yeah.
David Harbour.
No, I get that. It's just funny.
Not the guy he makes fun of, but the guy that
Is
they
Alexei a
capture.
common? Like, I'm not trying to be an idiot, but I didn't realize that was a common Russian name.
Yeah,
Things you learn.
it's kind of like Alex, I guess, which is a fairly common English name.
Interesting. Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, so that was really he nailed it. Like every line he had was hilarious.
His timing was just impeccable. Too.
It was
like the timing with the Crimson Dynamo line. He gives like the right pause, and he's like, "It's the Red Guardian."
yeah. After this impassioned, like, please, like, stop.
She's like,
talking,
"You don't
I
care.
hate
You don't care.
Yeah,
You just want to talk
and he
about your
just-
Crimson Dynamo time." And just like,
And he's just like, and he looks so sad, and then he's like, "It's Red Guardian." So good. And then the other part of that scene, I thought Florence Pugh was a revelation. So I haven't seen Midsommar. I haven't seen any of the
Little Women?
the other 3 movies that she's been nominated for. She did really well in. So this is the first time I've been able to see her perform, and she like killed it. She might have been like the strongest part of the movie. It's kind of similar to like her comedic timing was really down. She conveyed the emotion of hoping that this family was real. That she nailed that emotion.
Family.
It's all that matters. So those 2 parts right there, I thoroughly enjoyed. The whole reunion scene when they meet up with the mother and the passing around
Melina.
drinks and that whole thing. That was like my favorite like section of the movie.
That's when I went to go pee.
Really strong. That's when you went to go pee, huh?
Yep, because I was like, "This is a bunch of character development. I gotta go."
That was the best part. That was the best part.
The dinner sequence.
Yeah,
I mean,
I really enjoyed it.
I saw most of it. Like,
Yeah.
I'll say this about when I have to go. Like, I'm very quick and efficient. Needed. So.
too much.
You sure though? Because
When
sometimes
I
you disappear.
Hold on a second. When I said when I need to be,
Ah,
when I disappear, it's because I don't want to be there.
ah.
Take a hint.
Less often.
Take a hint.
It's always all the time. So yeah, but yeah, I and the music was super good. The haunting rendition of "Smells Like Teen Spirit."
I think he asked you for your favorite part, not every part you liked.
Yeah.
Oh no, he asked
Not the whole movie.
No, you said was there any parts that you enjoyed?
Damn it! You've stolen all the ones I was.
I know. I'm doing that on purpose.
Come up, Arjun. Come up
Oh,
with something.
Taskmaster before the reveal. I thought was pretty good. And then
Okay,
they revealed.
no. Okay, you've set me off. I'm off. I'm triggered here.
All right,
Okay,
let's do it.
Taskmaster was
Taskmaster.
Taskmaster, which basically sounds like an evil, like elementary school productivity teacher.
Yes.
Now that I think about
It's
it,
your hall monitor.
yeah, like that.
Taskmaster.
That one kid in school that wants to like be ahead. Oh God, now I hate that even more. Anyway, Taskmaster
Yes.
was cool the first time we saw them, and then was not cool ever again, even before the reveal. And the reason I say it wasn't cool is a long time ago, I had a fellow video editor that made a really good point about how slow motion shots have been so overutilized. Number 1 in Hollywood, and then number 2 in vlogs and YouTube videos, and they're just fucking everywhere. That
You went through a phase too.
I'm still in that phase. I will admit, like, I love slow-mo shots, but I love slow-mo shots of different things, right?
Sure.
I don't love slow-mo shots of the same character walking in different paths, right? And I also don't love, like, the exact same music sequence and the same stupid, weird breathing. Like, I don't like that. And there was so much of that.
Oh, so you hate Darth Vader?
There was no slow-mo shots of Darth Vader.
Yeah, but he has the breathing.
That's different.
Literally all the time.
Right, but that was the first time I heard it, right? The Taskmaster's weird fucking breathing, that's not the first time I've heard weird breathing. Like, come up with something different. Maybe like their nostrils breathe fire. That'd be cool.
But she's wearing a helmet.
I don't care. I'm trying to make this better. Anyway, there was just too many Taskmaster slow-mo shots
Interesting.
that it just got very annoying. It was like I get
You
it.
picked up on
I
it.
get it. You're trying. I'm intimidated. I get it. I get
You're
it.
a
Everyone's
badass.
afraid of this character. I get it. Stop fucking showing me that. Do something different. It's like that meme with the dog. Like, do something.
My or the funniest Taskmaster moment was
Funny, oh boy.
when
See,
Well,
that's
it's
that's a
not-
problem right there.
No. It's not. It's just not specific to Taskmaster. It's like we talked about this for Falcon and Winter Soldier too, but shield physics within the MCU are always like wonky and funny. When they're in the underground subway and Taskmaster throws the shield, and somehow the shield goes parallel, and then it bends down and follows the escalator railing down, and then bends back up to like.
Did it bounce off something?
No, it just went floop, floop.
Oh man.
Yeah, but it wouldn't work. But it would not work that way. It would. Let's go try it right now with a frisbee or any circuit. It's so crazy. It's just hilarious.
Yeah. Here's why I thought like. So Taskmaster to me, the vibe I was getting when they first introduced the Taskmaster was like, oh man, I'm getting like Winter Soldier vibes, and I really enjoyed the Winter Soldier. Like I thought Winter Soldier when we first saw him in the Winter Soldier. Thank you. Oh man, I'm dying. Super intimidating, like scary, and like the action of it was like super effective, and I got that vibe with Taskmaster, right? Like the fact that she could mimic anyone that she's seen, and the fight scene was like brutal. But then like I get worried that Marvel's falling into this trap where they're gonna try and redeem too many of their villains. They did that with Loki. Obviously, they're doing that with Loki, and Loki works because we've seen Loki a bunch of times, and Loki's had a lot of time to be bad. So it's I like the redemption there. It's like something different. We saw Taskmaster for like an hour, and now she's already redeemed.
25 minutes.
25 minutes, and I would have liked to have seen more time, more movies or TV shows with Taskmaster being this question mark and this like really intimidating
This mystery.
Like,
So,
mystery.
here's the thing though. Taskmaster. I guess the question I have for you is: are you saying Taskmaster?
Taskmaster.
Taskmaster.
What is the name?
Taskmaster. Like task.
I don't like that name. It's
Say it British.
TM.
Taskmaster.
Do you think TM?
TM. All right.
TM.
Trademark.
Do you think though, like Taskmaster was presented to you as the villain, or you went into this thinking Taskmaster was the villain because marketing, as opposed to like when you look at the movie? I mean, it's very difficult to do. Like, let's pretend you saw no marketing material, and you also had no, like, I know you don't know super well who Taskmaster is based on the comics, but you have a basic understanding, because I know for a fact we used to watch the Avengers Assemble series, the cartoon.
Never watched that.
You watched it. You were there. You were high as fuck.
Right.
You were high as fuck. Maybe it was Arjuna.
It was Arjuna.
I get you confused.
Wow.
But Taskmaster has always been like in the comic lines, like this own individual character, operating assassin, et cetera, et cetera. We also have to remember, like, Marvel MCU is its own separate thing. It is not what the comics is.
Yeah.
So when I look I know it's very hard to do, but when you look at Black Widow as just a movie, no marketing material, Taskmaster to me is not the villain. It's not the antagonist.
She's definitely not.
It's just this thing, right? So I don't know if the argument makes sense where Marvel is trying to redeem the villains. I think what they're doing or trying to do is humanize or, make you feel bad for people in shit situations, which this character is 100% in.
Yeah, no, and I get that. I just like, you're totally right, and I don't mind doing that at all. I just think it would kind of been cool to like play with the mystery of Taskmaster and the combat that she has, like everything that she can do, a little bit longer past this movie. And then if you have several movies or a bit more time with this like really effective, deadly assassin, and then you reveal this is why, it would hit so much harder.
To play devil's advocate, she is still a trained killer. And like you saw that in the after credit scene with Florence Pugh's character, Yelena. Even though she did a good thing and took down the Red Room,
and she's been freed of the
mind control.
Yeah,
she's still a hired killer. She's still doing bad things, working with Julia Louis-Dreyfus's character. We know that's not an entirely good organization. There's nothing to say that the remaining widows out there and Taskmaster couldn't be doing the same thing because
Sure.
they've been hired killers for so long. It's like, well, I got to make my living and
Sure,
money
but,
somehow.
but the
I would say
mystery's still gone,
I would say
you
this.
know?
Though, I would say this. Like, yeah, exactly. There's the mystery. I would also say that's part. I didn't know we were in reckless speculation mode, but we don't know if that's actually true, right? Like, we don't know. Like, all we're given in that end. We're
Well,
jumping.
she says, well, but no, but Valentina specifically says, how would you
Val.
right? But she specifically says, how would you like to take down your next target,
Right.
Hawkeye? Hawkeye is quote unquote a good character. That they're trying to kill this character in the
Taskmaster's not
premise of
involved
these
with
shows.
this,
No,
right?
she's not. But
Yeah.
because we're looking at like Yelena and the Widows and Taskmaster with those characters, right? These trained killers.
Yeah.
It kind of goes to show that all of these characters aren't just quote unquote good all of a sudden.
No.
They're not all like, we're superheroes, you know? Like,
But hasn't the MCU shown us that I think there is like good, there's bad, but there's a lot of times where there's this like in between thing, right?
Sure.
Tony Stark is a really good example of this person trying to do good, but the entire MCU to a degree
Causes, like, 3 Avengers
is his
movies.
fucking like fault. Like if you
Yeah. Sure.
take like Tony Stark's character and remove him from the
A
MCU,
lot of bad shit doesn't happen.
a lot, it does like so it's like
Age
hilarious.
of Ultron doesn't
Yeah.
happen.
yeah, exactly, and,
And
then,
then
therefore like Thanos
so on
doesn't
and so
happen.
forth.
Yeah, like a lot of stuff just does not happen.
Yeah.
So I think it's tricky. I think the MCU does a pretty good job. Like WandaVision did a great job, right? Of what is good, what is bad, what is pain, what is this, blah 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 blah.
Yeah.
You know, I'm an American. And I believe like Wanda should have been locked up afterwards because you know she tortured an entire fucking town.
I mean, it's a great
it's a
conversation.
it's a very gray area, and I think
which is cool.
yeah,
that's
and
cool.
I think that's the one thing that makes MCU stand apart from like DC and all that fun stuff.
Like I said, I 100% agree with everything you both said. It's just I thought it would have been a cool just to have a bit more time with Taskmaster being this mysterious killer before revealing sort of her backstory.
But then
that's all.
she doesn't get to fulfill her role as the literal embodiment of Black Widow's mistakes coming back to haunt her.
Within the context
which
of
is
the
which
movie,
is
yeah.
Wasn't
which
it the
is
blood ledger that like
very
Loki
true.
mentioned in
Very true.
Avengers?
Yeah, I mean, everybody's got a ledger, right? I mean,
don't.
even like Alexi makes a fun of the ledger. He's like, my girls
filled with
ledgers
blood."
are filled
with
with blood. He's like,
good.
I couldn't be more proud.
Oh, he's so good.
Arjuna, I'm gonna say it right now. I think you should do Red Guardian.
Yes.
I need to
Start
gain some
growing.
weight.
Great. No, we just fill you with a pillow. It's fine. We've done it before. Just start growing your beard out excessively
there we
to,
go.
to that
We've
point.
done it before.
Yeah, that would be a fun, like an LA Comic Con. Arjuna's walking around. Yeah,
Red
we'll
Guardian.
give him a bottle, like a vodka bottle, that's filled with water.
No, vodka.
No, water. We
Why?
know that's his MO.
Wait, should I do it like Devin Booker with the Suns and just have the classic bottle and just says book on the side? So just like red.
Yeah, there you go.
There you go.
That's perfect.
Yeah.
Other points of this movie that happened. One of the things that isn't listed here. Do you think this movie?
Was good.
Like I think we're getting to the point where like, you know, the general consensus so far, not talking about the three of us, but general consensus of a lot of people are happy with the movie, right? They're happy to go see it. I would argue that this is the kickoff to say that movies and the blockbuster, it's back. We're back,
sure.
baby, right? Like I would say,
100%.
not Christopher Nolan's fucking dumbass Tenet movie.
Vin Diesel
Oh,
would say
man.
F9 was the kickoff
Fuck that movie.
because it's about family.
But family's good.
Wait,
But
actually,
fuck Vin Diesel.
actually, real quick, which one do we think is going to do better?
Black Widow.
over F9?
Yeah, I think
Yes.
so.
Is
so?
F9
I'll be curious to
does
see.
F9 have any digital presence, or is it just solely theaters? Does anyone know?
Digital presence.
Like, is it being simultaneously released at the same time?
Oh, I don't think so. I think it's exclusively in theaters.
Then I think they fucked up.
Well, no, I'm talking about the theater numbers. So I think F9, because the F9 apparently is getting very good audience
It's about family.
thing.
Even I saw F9.
Yeah, you did?
Did you really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Do you
I
think?
still need to watch
I
six,
saw it. I
still
saw it
need
up
to
in,
watch six
in,
of the other
in
ones.
Sacramento.
Oh, nice. Was
So,
it good?
well, to go back to our previous discussion about theaters being hot, I've been in like 3 theaters now, and they were all hot. So I feel like theaters, because they lost so much money, are like, we need to save money, so no more AC for you.
Is that your conspiracy theory?
Yeah.
Yes.
They're all just like, no. We can't spare the AC bill.
AC is like your parents when you were younger, turning on the AC because it was hot. No. The electric bill would be too high. That's what AMC and theaters have become. As always, we do these podcasts live on youtube.com/wasitgood every Monday and Friday. You can jump in and comment. We have a bunch of comments here that we want to just bring up real quick. And Christian has eyes, so he's going to read a couple here.
Oh, I am.
Or Judah.
Just a couple comments here. Sahara saying Florence Pugh is amazing, which I agree. This is the one movie I've seen her. Taskmaster also says Taskmaster wasn't very memorable or important at all. Yeah, I mean, but to Michael's point, to our producer's point, she served a very specific purpose for Black Widow.
Also,
and at the end of the day, this is what the movie is
We've
about.
talked about the negatives, but in terms of the positives, like some of the fight sequences between
They were great.
her and
That's why I wanted more.
Natasha were some of the best we've ever seen in the MCU.
Yeah.
You know, like this movie has a lot of parallels or a lot of comparisons, I think, to Winter Soldier. And I think a lot of the positive ones would be those fight sequences and those action sequences are top notch. Some of the best we've seen. And I am starting to get tired of the white bold font of just like country and years that started in Winter Soldier, and they have just continued
It's such
to
a
use
basic
in all
font
movies.
too. It
Just
looks like
Well,
Old Times
it's
New
also
Roman.
like I don't know. I hate
1995.
that because like our movies in modern day America go all over the world, right? You're going here to country to country to country. I think it's also being done because like a lot of these, like the Marvel films, for example, like if you look at the end credits, there's so much like thankfulness to like the film industries in those countries, and I feel like you don't have to do it, like put the bold things, but I feel like it's a nice like thank you to the country to let America come in there, film it, and do all that fun stuff. So I understand why they're kind of doing it. It is kind of annoying because it also feels like the filmmakers feel like we're stupid.
Like you can't do enough establishing shots
Yeah.
to be like, this is Cuba.
This is another country or whatever.
Yeah, this is this area.
Yeah. So
Or,
I don't know.
or whatever.
It's a weird spot there. I will say when it comes to the fight sequence, you see Elena, right? The younger sister.
Yes.
I think her best bit, her best piece is her comedy, not her comedy, but just how blunt she is.
Yeah.
And then also like making fun of Natasha and her weird, like
pose.
Yep. Wait, hold on.
Oh, it was so
There we go.
It was so good, yeah. Like during like the gas station or the convenience store, and she's just like on the like.
Yeah, and she just gets on there and does it like naturally. And it's like, why do you do this?
One of the things I do like about Marvel and MCU is they like to poke fun at. They are open to poking fun at themselves, and
For sure.
just like poking fun at here's this pose that's done that we do for whatever reason.
Yeah. Yeah.
And they make fun of it. They do a good job with it.
Yeah.
It's relatable.
What are your thoughts on the real villain of this film? I'm not gonna be metaphorical, like
Valentina?
weird. No.
Ray Winstone's Dreykov.
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 What do you like? I will say that this is kind of really fucked up to say, but I will say one of the best parts overall of this film is how they presented this character and how they were very, very different from, in my opinion, how other MCU properties have kind of treated the bad person, the bad thing, or the bad guy. Where the bad guy is Ultron. I'm a big robot. I'm going to wipe out all of our Earth and humanity. And this character is just this weird, fucked up, perverted piece of shit of a human being. Mm-hmm. And I think they did a really good job of making me think that guy's a piece of shit.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. I mean, I think he's kind of forgettable, to be honest. Like, he does bad stuff. And like, but
that's
like,
the only part that's memorable is the bad shit. But
it's the best
But
stuff,
it worked, though, to like make
like,
me hate him.
Okay. Yeah,
Like
sure.
there was an emotional like,
enough for you.
I fucking hate this guy.
Sure,
Like,
sure.
Yeah, as compared to Ultron, where it's just like, I am Ultron. I am going to destroy you all. While this guy's like, I want to
Chocula? What was
step
that?
on your face.
His voice was way cooler than that. Cause,
No, he was Count
Yeah, it
Chocula.
was, what's his name? I don't want to say the wrong name. 'cause
James
I get-
Spader.
It was
Thank
James
you.
Spader. James Spader was amazing.
Not the other one.
Amazing.
yeah, I remember a couple months ago.
Oh, that's right. You really fucked up.
Yeah. I was like, oh no.
Oh no, Marshall.
Yeah.
Marshall, no.
But like, to be honest though, like he like Taskmaster served a purpose. Like, as a character, very.
It was weird to see Beowulf just go become so evil.
He plays Beowulf?
Yeah.
You didn't Ray
Yeah.
Winstone. Ray Winstone played Beowulf.
I
but
didn't remember.
He's
it's
also
funny.
in-
It's
he's also
funny
in The Departed.
because Ray Winstone has never been a man who is of like a Chris Hemsworth type of physique, right? He's been a shorter, kind of rounder guy for a lot of his career, and people were kind of thought it was funny when he was Beowulf because they did like the
CG crap.
They did the CG crap, and they're like, that's not his body.
But he has a great voice, so it worked.
Real quick, speaking of bodies, when it's revealed who Taskmaster is, did anyone look at that scene? Because she takes her helmet off.
Yes.
And then there's a profile shot of both her, Natasha, and then her Taskmaster. And it very much reminds me of a Spartan from Halo, where they've got these tiny heads and these ripped out fucking armor bodies. Because it's CG. And then let's get into the CG.
The CG for her head in the armor was bad.
A lot of the CG was bad. There's a ton of shots where it just...
Yeah,
it wasn't a real costume.
So
She was not in the
problem
costume.
I didn't have a problem with that. What I had a problem with the CG was at the end when the ship is falling and the explosions looked so fake, like the fire. It looked really bad.
When Yelena gets blown from this thing,
Yeah.
that fire
So
looked like
bad.
it was like Pinnacle 8.
I think
like,
YouTubers
effects.
have better effects.
I was
than what we
watching
saw.
earlier today
I was like,
Batman
what the hell?
Returns with Michael Keaton, which came out the year of
God.
Arjuna's birth, 1992.
Yeah.
And, there's a scene where they blow up the zoo. And, like, even though it was a miniature, they blew up the fucking zoo.
Right.
And it's like that fire, that destruction is like, yeah. That fire and shit that you see, and
It looks so bad.
it's like cool. You know what the problem is?
It's just fake.
Let me put on my conspiracy hat. You know what the problem
You look
is?
like Michael Moore.
You know what the problem is?
Yes.
We're going to teach kids that fire's not real.
Why don't you go back to Worcester, kid?
So
Go back to Bill Vicker.
Do you think the who would benefit from not having fire be real?
The fire god.
The oil companies.
Wait, what?
The water.
The oil companies, because then they can go and start drilling everywhere, and then when this fire shows up,
So this whole Gulf of Mexico
It's Smokey
thing
the
is just
Bear.
fake
He's
news.
not behind the conspiracy.
you
He
go.
wants more forest fires.
there you go. That's what? No. Let's jump into Valentino or Val real quick. So this movie
the true villain of
was supposed to come out a hell of a long time ago.
May of 2020.
And then after that, Falcon and the Winter Soldier was supposed to be the first Disney Plus show.
Correct.
Now, I've read and heard a ton of different rumors in terms of the after credit scene in Black Widow was supposed to be something completely different than what we saw. I'm not sure if that's entirely true or whatnot. But the one thing I have heard is that Val or Valentina was going to be first introduced there in Black Widow, and then you would see Valentina in the episode with, dumb fuck Captain America, or was it Agent
John Walker.
John Walker, but Agent something.
U.S. agent.
U.S. agent.
US
and that would be the
agent.
second time you see this character.
Yeah.
Do you think with the flip flop, is there any change in terms of either impact? Do
I
you
think it works
you think
because
it works?
Yeah.
it's but like there's an introduction to kind of the character in both. Not that you don't need to exactly know who she is in this, right? Because first off, it's an after credit scene. They don't need to like fully establish the character. As we've seen with these after credit scenes, it's just a connective tissue to something else. This one being likely to Hawkeye, the Disney Plus show. It's the picture that is shown to her is Hawkeye. It just kind of establishes the presence of this character, though, that she is some type of powerful, influential person
Who wants a pay raise.
who does want a pay raise, who is allergic to the Midwest, and who is kind of recruiting these people who
with
have
very special
who have
skills.
very special skills to do very special tasks for her.
The League of
Is it
Extraordinary
good?
Gentlemen.
Is it good? Is it bad? We can infer a little bit, right? We can infer that it's probably not the best. It's probably a little shady, especially because she went
Just a little
after
bit.
she went after John Walker, who was discharged and did some bad shit in Falcon Winter Soldier. Yelena, they're talking about targets and who to
But then
take
again,
down.
both those characters sort of redeemed themselves. So,
John Walker's redemption was stupid. So
I mean, Falcon Winter Soldier just
I
did
don't
not work.
I don't
so.
disagree, but yeah.
I think it's interesting. Valentine or Val's character will be an interesting one. What's happening? I mean, we do know that the actress that plays Yelena was confirmed in a Variety article back in December of 2020 that her character, Natasha's sister.
Yelena.
No, we're just gonna call her Natasha's sister, Elena.
Yelena.
The new
Yelena.
Black Widow.
We don't know what she
I
or
know.
where she's
Little
gonna be.
Widow.
Little Widow.
Because she was in
Little Widow.
She was in a movie called Little Women. So Little Widow.
Oh, Little Widow.
But it was confirmed back in
LIL.
December 2020 that she would be in the Hawkeye series. So it'll be interesting. Maybe she is playing the villain, or maybe, like I was saying, maybe Yelena is kind of good, and she's just doing this work with Val to get more insider information or whatnot. Maybe she's pulling a Hydra and Shield or Shield and Hydra. I don't know.
Well, I think she'll be introduced as like some element of the show, and that will set her on some other path that will be a threat that we picked up elsewhere in another show or movie or whatever else.
I have a question for both of you.
No,
the answer is C.
The answer is C. Okay, that's
69.
It seems with everything that we've gone so far in Phase 4, we're being given two sort of fairly distinct, I'm sure they'll come together at some point, storylines. We've got like a very geopolitical post-snap storyline dealing with shady governments and, underground black markets and stuff like that. And that's sort of what we got from Falcon and the Winter Soldier and this Black Widow movie. And then on the other side, we've got this really fantastic multiverse, interdimensional storyline going on. For me, I find myself much more drawn to this interdimensional timeline, multiverse of madness story, and everything that isn't related to that, to me, comes in a very clear second place. Is that a problem? Is anyone else having that issue?
I don't think it's anything different from what Phase 1, 2, and 3 were. Because Phase 1, 2, and 3 were basically, like, if you want to bring it down to what it was, there's this magical, scientific-y thing happening in the universe where Thor's going and fighting Christopher Eccleston in a plastic suit over some liquid shit.
That's true.
Compared to Captain America finding out that a snake-headed Nazi organization was living in a military group. Like, it's not... that's always what... To me, anyway, the comics, everything has been is like there's the weird shit happening, and then there's the shit grounded in America.
The government shit.
The government shit. Yeah,
and I think that they're trying.
That's true.
There's more of an emphasis with like there is the greater, galaxy and universal stuff, like with the TVA, with Loki, with the reality stuff with Wanda, this multiverse of madness that we know it's coming, the Quantum Mania with Ant-Man,
right?
Where they're literally expanding, I think outside of Earth and these different realms and whatnot. And
Time itself.
And then I think kind of like the first three phases did, right? You had more of this Earth storyline of the Sokovia Accords and everything, and that led to the fracturing of the Avengers, which then had all that fantastical stuff come to Earth and be influenced because of this geopoliticalness. And I'm sure, they're diverging right now, but they will converge somehow.
Yeah.
And maybe this is literally what they're setting up. This is just a guess. You're going to have this multiverse war and whatever, or multiverse madness, and things will change and reality will change. And then all of a sudden, you're going to have mutants. But what's going to be happening on Earth? There's all this geopoliticalness and stuff going on. And what's the number one thing that's related to mutant storylines? It's this
fear.
The fear of powers and government control and all that type of stuff. Maybe that's how it kind of combines. And there's this whole thing of like, we can't trust these people with meta-human abilities, blah, 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 whatever.
I guess, just for me personally at this point, I'm finding it, if I'm ranking stuff or it's stuff I'm going to go back and watch versus the stuff I'm probably not, like, seems to be a very clear winner for me, and it seems to be driven by the subject matter.
It's the Red Guardian for you.
The Red Guardian, absolutely.
I think
there's no Red Guardian, I don't
if you
want
want to take a step back, though, like, remember Marvel's or Disney, what's their big thing, right? They want to
Synergy.
cater to the entire family, right?
That's a good point.
Family.
That's a good point. Oh my God! Vin Diesel did it again. Shit!
I don't know this about
Christian.
Vin.
It's not about geopoliticalness.
It's family.
It's not about multiverses. It's about family.
But that's what.
the end of the day,
The reason I bring that up though is like when you look at like the 3 shows that have come out so far, Loki, Falcon Winter Soldier, and like WandaVision, and I'm not trying to generalize the world right here, but like I look at like a Falcon and Winter Soldier. What is that? That's your action. That's your like grounded in geopolitics and shit. That a person of a certain grouping would be like, oh, it kind of relates to what I'm familiar with in the world. While WandaVision is this weird, wacky, like family dynamic, and that's like what I like, and that's the thing I care about. And then Loki is this weird, super fantastic,
weird,
very out there, new age type story. That's
Loki's
happening.
the best one.
Loki, I think Loki's considered the best one though to us because it is so different. Like Falcon Winter Soldier, to a degree, I could argue it's no different than like a Walker Texas Ranger,
Well,
where
and
it's like it's action driven.
It's very familiar to what we've seen in the MCU, right? So
I'm
catering-
talking generalization.
I know,
Yeah,
but if you're looking at like MCU fans, they're like a lot of MCU fans love Falcon and Winter Soldier because it's something they're familiar with.
Yeah.
Other people love WandaVision. Like these shows have been successful in that way because
They're different.
they're different and people like them and they
Was
make
it
money. So.
Childish Gambino says, "Motherfucker, I'm different."
Is that a quote of his?
Yeah, it's in a song he says.
Nice.
Oh.
Yeah, from like 2000 or something.
Yeah.
Arjuna, you haven't given us your favorite part, or maybe you did and you just didn't write it down.
No, I took all of them.
He took all mine. No, I do have a favorite part, and my favorite part has to be
the tin that I got.
the guy who probably no one remember, Rick Mason's character.
Yes,
because he was so. No, I'm just kidding. He was
Who?
really? Right? Can I? Please,
Wait,
don't,
which one's Rick
please don't
Mason?
laugh at this. Please don't laugh
Who's
at
Rick
this.
Mason?
I liked Rick
O.T.
Mason.
Fagenbaum. I don't know how you say his last name. The actor's name.
Yeah, he was the one that provided Natasha with all the gear.
Yeah.
But I liked him.
Oh,
I liked him because I liked his style.
He's British.
No, he's like clothing style. Like I thought it was cool.
Brown jacket.
Oh, his
Yeah,
fashion.
yeah. I was like, that's
liked his
cool.
fashion?
Very classic.
I like
look,
that he
yeah.
was always asleep.
Pretty. Yeah, that too.
And
I like
was
that he just
too.
lives out in nature. Apparently, like we just see him in the field.
I remember thinking he was going to be Taskmaster for a
Everyone
long
on the
time.
internet thought that.
Yeah, it's like he's Taskmaster, and it's like no, he's just oh wow, he's.
I
think,
thought Mephisto was Taskmaster.
Do you think he? Do you think?
I thought Loki was Taskmaster.
How sad do you think he was when he found out that Romanoff died?
We'll have to find out in the Rick Mason.
He clearly didn't care that. Oh, actually, no. They never really had a funeral for Natasha, did
That's
they?
the thing. This is the first time we've seen the graveside in the after credit scene. We do the big Tony Stark thing. She doesn't really get a thing.
No, didn't they do them together?
Not really.
No, it
I
was
thought
just
the Tony Stark thing also had Natasha. Like she was also part of that.
I
think
don't
it was-
know
I thought
about
that was more
that.
Iron Man.
There was
Oh,
a
man.
deleted scene after that was never put in the movie where
I saw that.
Wanda is talking to Clint and is like, "Oh, I can feel them," or something like that. Speaking about like
I
her
should have kept that.
dying and all that. So in this after credit scene, so actually throughout this entire movie, Natasha and her sister Yelena have this thing where
About the
they'll.
vest.
Well, yeah, there's the vest. We'll talk about that real quick. So the vest that you see Natasha wear in Infinity War, is it? Yeah, Infinity War.
with the blonde hair. Yeah.
Yeah, the vest that has tons of pockets is from her sister, which is kind of cool.
It's actually hilarious because she's like, I really love this.
I
vest."
wonder, is Disney making this vest? Is this vest coming out soon?
Babby, that's someone you know that you can ask.
Bob Iger.
Call it Bob.
But anyway, the you completely ruined my train of thought here. Now I'm stuck on vests.
I can go back on to what my actual favorite part of the movie is.
No, I skipped over that clearly. What's your favorite part, guy?
I would have to say, of all the things that have not been taken,
Oh, sorry.
of what my favorite part is, it's got to be the opening, the music, specifically that opening credit song. What's the song called?
Smells like Teen Spirit.
Nirvana smells like Teen Spirit.
Yeah,
Well, it wasn't Nirvana. though.
It was Nirvana. Well, it wasn't
Well,
Nirvana.
this version was not.
This is a cover.
Yeah,
Right.
but this version was incredibly well done.
You know what's
And,
interesting?
I
A lot
really
of
liked it.
people did not like it.
Really?
A lot of reviews I saw on like YouTube were saying the weird, creeped out, not needed.
Not needed.
Not needed.
Yeah.
I thought it did a really good job setting the tone of what the.
Do you think the original Nirvana though could have done the same tone?
No.
Even like if they destroyed the original with Kurt Cobain.
I don't
Hey,
think-
if you distorted enough, maybe. But I like this cover.
Well, I like that it was sung. This is a song about, and specifically what they're showing in those opening credits is what these young girls have to go through the Widow program. I think it's more powerful if it's sung by a female because it is about these young girls and what they're going through. So, I feel like.
Red Room.
Feel like it wouldn't have been as powerful if they just took the original Nirvana version and distorted it. But I thought that it was great because it really set the tone of like, holy shit, this is what these people have to go through. What these
the brutality of it.
These children have to go through. You know, it's just really, really like devastating, and like you feel that. I feel like so I was just like, fuck, you know, like I'm drained.
Oh shit! Here we go again.
Yeah, pretty much.
Did you buy it on Apple Music?
Not yet.
We're not sponsored by Apple Music. I just know that Arjuna
What about
uses it for
Spotify?
some reason. Nope, let's just move on from that. But the other big thing that happened between the two sisters is there's their bird call, right? The thing. So going back to the end sequence, we end your ears, Michael. So at the very end sequence, we hear Yelena whistle, and then, in most, I don't know, I guess, how do I put this? Yeah, you would expect a whistle back, right? And then the scene would end, and then everyone would start screaming and crying.
Natasha's alive.
And Natasha's alive. But instead, what do we get? We get the nose thing, yeah.
from, and she's like,
Do you think? I guess my question for you two is, if we had heard a whistle back,
thank God we did,
and then we got just black, and then the rest of the credits,
I would have hated it.
I would have pissed.
It would have not ruined the movie, but it would have certainly.
Did your voice just break?
A little bit.
You started crying.
The movie?
It would have ruined.
You're like. So when we watched this movie yesterday,
it means Endgame has no consequences.
When we watched this movie the other day. There was somebody in the audience during that end sequence when they saw Natasha's grave, and they started going like, "Oh no!" So the theory, so we have a theory. Like, if I wish we knew who this person was, because I really want to know. Like, have you seen Endgame, or did that just get fucked for you? Like,
honestly,
and
there's
how
no
did you?
excuse.
And how
There's
did
no
you not
excuse.
get that spoiled over 2 years?
Exactly.
That's what I want to know.
There's no excuse.
And then why, if you were able to do that, why would you go see this movie Thursday night at 11:15 p.m.?
Because it takes place.
there's so many questions.
Like, why?
But the logical theory would be that this person was just emotional, upset about seeing Natasha's grave again.
That's exactly what.
And then my follow-up question is, it's a movie.
But there's
Emotions
there's
are real.
a lot of realism to it for a lot of people.
You can have emotions for fake things,
Sure.
It's like what?
I don't know.
You remember Rogue One?
Shut up, Judah.
Do you remember the tears?
That's our Budapest. Don't
you
talk
remember,
about it.
You remember when you made it rain
Shut
in Hollywood?
Rain. You got out some ones and you just started,
But yeah, it would have been horrible if they had.
I think they did a great job. That's by far, honestly. Sure, when we first see Nick Fury in the first Iron Man. Sure, when we see Thanos, cool. But this, by far, though, my favorite after credit scene ever, because it.
What about Adam Warlock?
He's teased.
That was just
Remember that one?
was
Hasn't
stupid.
come out.
That was so
Remember
stupid.
that one?
And it's never
The most
coming.
useless after credit scene I've ever
But
seen.
I'm going to make the claim. This is by far, I think, my favorite after credit scene ever, because they did a really good job of like, how do we plant these things throughout the movie? How do we play with our audience emotion? And then how do we just kind of fucking flip it, 19 times upside down?
That was surprisingly like a good move. Self-aware?
Yeah.
I don't know if that's the right. Yeah, self-aware by Marvel.
Self-aware.
I would agree with you if they had cut it and kind of cut out the Val part.
Oh.
Because the Val part, even when she shows her the Hawkeye picture and it's like Hawkeye, it's just kind of stupid. It was kind of cheesy.
Did you think?
The
Could I
picture
put this
looked-
haircut
the
up?
picture
stupid?
looked
First
bad.
of all, it's like Jeremy Renner just being like,
Guys, he had a rough night. That's really mean.
he's got some issues.
Real quick, Hawkeye impression, go.
God.
There we go. Perfect.
Hawkeye impression is, what are we even doing here? Nothing really matters. Remember Age of
To
Ultron? It's
me.
like, I'm a guy with a bow. What are we even doing here?
Yeah.
Oh
Were
my
you talking
God.
to Wanda?
But
Yeah.
I feel like that part was just kind of lame. Like the showing the Hawkeye picture, the music choice there was just kind of like, this is not cool.
Yeah.
I'm like, you kind of took away the emotion of her saying, seeing her sister and saying goodbye and having that tender moment. And I get like they love to connect stuff and have that connective tissue, but I think it would have been fine to just cut it there because it would be a nice reveal to see like
Val's around and.
no.
Oh, you're saying cut before her.
Cut before Val.
Gotcha.
Honestly, like you can still include that somewhere else.
The second after credits.
Yeah, the second make that the mid credits, then make that an after credits. So
Well, no, you need the mid credits for. I don't know. Why did you need the mid credit scene with Natasha getting the Quinjet?
they just wanted to connect it all the way to
Infinity War.
Infinity War. That was it. Because they show her with the blonde hair. By the way, so she just gets captured and then is out in 2 weeks.
She provided them
Wait for
with,
Black Widow 2.
No. So this wasn't
You
explained
laugh.
very well.
Yeah, you laugh.
Do you remember when she was downloading all of that data from the?
Well, she gives that to Yelena.
Oh, she didn't keep a copy for herself.
She gives that to Yelena.
Why
to-
would she- why
for
would that
them to
matter?
go take down
Then
the
he
Widow
gives it
program.
to them, and it's like, here's some
Do you
information,
think-
and then I have
Do
my
you
freedom
think?
now.
Do you think Triple
Immunity.
Bypass Mustache McGee cares?
What's-
All he
Isn't
cares
that
about is capturing.
Abomination?
No. He
No.
becomes
He sets up Abomination. In
in the Incredible Hulk. But Thaddeus Ross becomes the Red Hulk in the comics. He is confirmed to appear in She-Hulk, and I have a theory that they're repopulating him back in. And they're showing like he's feeble and he's getting weaker. He's getting older.
He's gonna get desperate.
He's gonna become Red Hulk and She-Hulk.
Yeah,
that's my.
And that's
what I think.
And that's the thing that's interesting because like the previous time Natasha sees the general, they're sitting around a table and he brings up that he had a triple bypass, and then bypass, and then this movie takes place essentially a couple days after Civil War,
or during, right? Because they said
no, it's after. It's after Civil War.
But they said they had them locked up. Remember, Chris Evans at the end, or Captain America at the end of Civil War, breaks them out.
Yeah, so that piece, that's an end credit scene.
It's at the very end.
Yeah.
But technically that's still part of the movie.
Oh my
god.
God.
So it's in between that. That's what I'm saying.
Sure.
This is somewhere in between. Kind of during Civil War.
Majority of the events of Civil War are over.
Yes.
And done. Because remember, Taskmaster's watching a fight of Hawkeye and Black Panther fighting.
They're in jail.
Yes. They're all jailed up.
But there might be some events that coincide with Cap, Iron Man, and Winter Soldier fighting.
No.
At the same time. Just
nope. They try and tie in Clone Wars, the final season, in Episode 3.
Yeah, Marvel's running out of real estate, so they just gotta like have the same scene.
Wait, did you watch Bad Batch today?
I have not watched it yet.
I'm starting to hate Star Wars. I'm just gonna say that.
Really?
Yes.
Wow.
And
Ravi's just never mind.
He's being
we'll talk about
Is he trolling again?
I don't troll. I don't even know what that word means.
Yeah, dinosaurs.
Exactly. We'll skip over that piece over here. Let's get into bold predictions for the future of Marvel, specifically our segment that I like to call Reckless Speculation.
So the future of Marvel in general, or specifically related to Black Widow events?
Yes.
That one.
No, I just meant in general.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah. Whatever you want to say.
Well, I mean, can we bring in Loki?
Sure.
Yeah.
Well, real quick. So,
I watched the
speaking of Loki, so we're talking episode 5.
Yeah.
I had a weird, goofy ass theory that
I mean, a lot of people did.
That there would be some kind of tie-in, and I really wanted it to be essentially Black Widow's running in the foreground, and you see a Loki variant or something just pop up in the background and then pop away. I really wanted that. I haven't seen anything like that. Maybe in the 2 weeks there'll be a digital recut release, and they'll put it there. I don't know. But how do you guys feel about the fact that Marvel has a Disney Plus show currently running?
Mm-hmm.
Marvel also drops a movie. Supposedly Kevin Feige says there's this thing called connective tissue.
Sure.
Even though we saw what he did with ABC's Carta and Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. and Netflix Defenders.
I don't know if you saw James Gunn was tweeting recently.
Oh, God.
The director of the Guardians of the Galaxy
He should
movies.
probably stay off Twitter.
And somebody asked him of like connective tissue to like Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. and he's like, we never considered any of those or Netflix shows MCU canon. Like the filmmakers at least don't.
Yeah.
So it's they don't even know what it is.
You know what a director should do when they're asked about connective tissue in one of these large franchises? Send them to a Wikipedia page about connective tissues in the human body.
Tendons and ligaments.
And then just call it a day.
Yeah, there you go.
That's gross.
I don't know if that would work because I feel like connective tissue in the body actually functions properly.
Yes,
as opposed to how Marvel treats.
Oh man.
I think to your Loki point,
Yeah.
Because this movie was delayed so much.
Yeah.
If there was any type of synergy that was supposed to happen, it got knocked out by.
Well,
COVID.
I think Val is that synergy piece.
Yeah. I don't think it's, but I don't.
Beyond
think
that, I think
I don't think.
Val's Mephisto.
Oh my God.
She is.
She's behind the TV.
And Mephisto is the son thing of Thanos, and Val has purple hair. Thanos.
Oh no.
I'm gonna leave.
And the sister of Kang the Conqueror.
Kang.
Well, you know what's kind of cool though? The Thancopter, Thanos
Thanacopter in episode
That's a real
5.
thing.
Yeah, it's like it's kind of like up there with the Spider-Man car
Oh yeah.
and some of the other weird.
It's like
comic book
why
things
have
they did.
these vehicles?
What is Thanocopter thing?
Mm-hmm.
But anyway, yeah, let's get into bold predictions.
God, I don't.
Went
We've. I feel like we've almost emptied our bag of predictions at this point. It's like. Go ahead. Do you have one? You're about to say.
Mine's gonna be super safe.
Nice.
I do think there will be another
Loki will die.
Black Widow movie.
Really?
And this has been talked about in interviews in recent days. The director has said she would love to do another one. She said, obviously, it will not be likely with Scarlett Johansson, but there are other characters in the movie it could be about. Obviously, you could have Yelena. You could even do something with
Taskmaster?
Alexei. You could do something with Melina. You know, you could have those characters come back. I felt, that family dynamic was obviously super important.
Family.
In the movie, family. And you could
Have Vin Diesel be the
have
bad
a
guy.
follow-up that deals with the aftermath, the absence of Natasha, right?
Yeah.
One of the things that obviously happened in Marvel was the blip. And who got snapped away, who didn't? Did some of them get snapped away? Did some of them did not? Did they do stuff in between? Like, there's actually
Well, does Yelena look like she is roughly... Because if that scene is after the blip, so that's 5 years after the blip, she would have aged roughly 7 years.
Right.
So does she look like she's aged 7 years or 2 years?
We don't know. And then that's the other thing with, like, Val. Do we know if, like, Val was blipped away and she had been doing whatever she'd been doing for the 5 years in between the blip? Like, there are some questions there.
Well, she's Mephisto, so it's okay.
We have a
just don't
request. We have a request in the comments. They want to see Lerman. So I don't know if you want to cut to the white there.
Wave to the camera.
It's called the person is.
Again,
You're
I
right,
don't
you're
know
right.
if the people want to be called out.
Well, they shouldn't have commented.
I have a theory about who this is, but they want
Mephisto?
us to talk about.
It's Mephisto.
They want us to stop talking about Marvel and start talking about Witcher, and then they threatened
Witcher.
us. They said, "Don't ignore me. You'll be sorry." So
We're
I have a
scared.
theory about who that is, but I won't give them the address.
But yeah, I think they could do a Black Widow too. You talked about the geopoliticalness. Like, I think there's a lot of interest you could do with the whole Widow program, where it is. There's obviously like thousands.
Arjuna,
of
the Widow program's on the ground, smashed to pieces.
No, but but there's obviously a ton of women who are still widows out there, right? So. No, I mean
no, we don't.
We get what you're saying. We're just being
I
dicks.
see
We're
widows
terrible
out
people,
there.
and
Yeah, yeah.
we understand that.
But so I think you could do a follow up to that with Yelena, with Melina, with Red Guardian. I think there's a lot of interest there too. Like, there's a lot of backstory with Alexei that's kind of touched upon of like, how was he so high up and ended up in jail, and what was he like as the Red Guardian? Obviously, like, he's well past his prime, so you could do a lot of stuff there. I think there's a lot to do with these characters, and
Sure.
they should all be showing up in a Black Widow sequel or in some type of Disney Plus show, or maybe just more Marvel stuff. But like, we know this isn't the end of Yelena's character. I certainly hope it's not the end of like Rachel Weisz's Melina and David Harbour's Alexei / Red Guardian.
Oh, I have a bold prediction.
Let's hear let's get into your bold prediction, and then I want to kind of end it before our big question with a ridiculous statement. So your bold prediction.
Hawkeye will die in Hawkeye.
I mean, that feels pretty obvious. That also feels like you want to hear something? You want to hear a real dick? You want to hear a real dick statement? Here's a real dickhead statement. I feel like Disney really wants that to happen because that's a huge liability that they can just sweep under the rug. There you go. Boom. There you
It's gone.
We're not getting. We'll talk about that, Michael,
Jeremy
later.
Renner drama.
Anyway,
There you go.
my big question for you guys before we ask the famous question of this podcast. Very simple question. This movie comes out after Black Widow Natasha dies in Endgame. Natasha, Black Widow, has been a part of the Avengers since the original Avengers film in 2012. Every single character who is an Avenger had their own kind of movie, including the Hulk. Yes, it wasn't the actor that ultimately played the Hulk.
Not Hawkeye.
Not Hawkeye, sure, not Hawkeye as well. But
Getting a TV show.
he's getting a TV show. But my question for you all is, if the world worked a little bit differently and we were more back then accepting of female-led superhero films, do you think this story, as it is currently, if it came out in a more logical sense, where Kevin Feige had said a long, long time ago, we are making our movies in a chronological order and we don't want to go back. But clearly we've seen now, this is the second film.
Yep.
It's the second female-led film.
Much better than the first one.
Much better than the first one. But it's the second female, and I want to bring this up as a point because it's the second female-led film where it doesn't take place in chronological order of the MCU timeline.
Sure.
We are going back. We have already established events. do you think this story would still be impactful if, let's say, this did come out immediately after Civil War, before
So
Infinity
minus the
War?
end credit scene, basically.
Correct, yeah.
I don't think it actually would have been, because I think the movie was structured in a way that you know the events and what's going to happen to Natasha. And it's, even though she is the main character, I think Krishna said it, it's like some of your favorite scenes are the scenes not with her.
Yeah.
Either.
Yeah, with like Yelena,
And
for
I think
example.
that would have been more of an issue if she was still alive in the proper MCU. I almost look at it like Solo, right? Because like Solo, the prequel came out, he had already died in the current timeline, right?
Right.
He died in episode 7. He was
his
gone.
end game.
Right. You knew how he's going to
Oh.
die, and it almost takes off the pressure of like that Solo movie, because you're like, oh, I guess I already know the pressure. I can just kind of enjoy the ride or whatever the story.
And then be
specifically
introduced to new
talking about.
characters.
Introduced to new characters, new elements within the MCU, and I think the movie did that in a successful way. Like, I think that's why the Elena character is so popular. I think that's why a lot of people love Red Guardian. Like, they were able to do that while also deepening the understanding of this character. If it had come out before, I think it would have had to have been a different movie, a different story. I don't think it would have worked in the way that I think they actually did a good job constructing this movie to come out when it did.
So we got some comments here. Disney Plus, more like Disney Dunce. Am I right? I think we know who this is on this.
It's our dad.
It can only be the one and only.
Kids, I
Hey,
think
I'm gonna dox.
Wait,
you.
what's your bold prediction?
my bold prediction. I
Yeah.
don't have any.
You have to come up with one.
I have literally nothing.
You have to come up with one. Go
okay,
ahead.
fine. Here we go.
Just say Hawkeye
Just say
will
the
live.
craziest thing.
They recast Hawkeye.
Val is actually a descendant of Thanos that used the multiverse of madness to come back, take her throne as the Hydra Queen, and is basically pitting all these fuckers against each other because the plan is to ultimately bring back Thanos. And Thanos is really the big villain of Phase 4, not a Kang or anybody like that, because Disney and Marvel thinks that their fan base is kind of stupid and need one villain to rally behind.
One villain to rule them all.
I
Exactly.
stopped listening after the first.
I wrote it down.
Thank you.
Couple words.
You dick.
Okay.
Anyway, I think it is that time.
I'll start.
Krishna, go ahead and start.
I'm Arjuna.
No, I looked at Krishna.
You looked at me and said,
I looked at
That's
Krishna.
weird.
I'm scared.
Krishna, go ahead, start.
You said Chris Juna, so which of us start?
Everybody ask somebody at the same time.
All right, ready?
No, don't do that.
Oh, okay.
Go ahead, Arjuna.
Ravi
Hello.
was Black Widow. Parentheses 2020. Good.
Caught that cup. I'm going to say the movie was good. And I want to put this on record on our pod, which, we
It's
can
a record.
It's a record. It's going to exist probably long before we are. I want to say, yes, watching the movie was great. The story and everything was interesting. I had a lot of fun in terms of what I was shown. The movie experience of going to AMC on a Thursday night in 90-plus degree weather. It was probably not 90 degrees, but it was really, really warm. And AMC being a bunch of cheap asses, that was not a great experience. And I am kind of questioning the watching movies in the theater, to be quite honest. So that was the most revealing thing here.
Our podcast is going to take a hit.
Nope, we're switching to cable television.
Let's do it.
Our age demo has gone up 40 years.
We would be fucking aliens, like.
They have money too.
Yeah. Ooh.
Time to pivot, guys.
What kind of brands do you think cater to like 50 and 60-year-olds?
Last mom and dad.
Yeah, there we go.
Oh man.
Mom, Dad.
Duracell batteries.
Duracell, built tough.
Nope, that's Ford.
That's Ford.
That Ford is built tough.
Some laxatives. Krishna, what do you think? I'm going to ask you.
What do you think I'm going to ask you?
Krishna, was Black Widow lost in New York in the multiverse?
Oh wow, that's
Good.
not what that is.
No.
I didn't see that movie.
Was Black Widow starring Scarlett Johansson good?
It was good. Best part of the movie was not Scarlett Johansson. It was David
the bu-
Harbour
all the-
and
all the butt
Florence
shots?
Pugh. Oh my! We didn't even talk about the
No, we didn't.
25 butt shots.
Yep.
Was that like a Disney thing? Just being like, we have to do this?
Family.
It's about
Oh,
family.
boy.
There's got to be a movie for everyone. So, but yeah, no, I thought David Harbour killed it. Florence Pugh was a revelation. I can't wait to see what else she does for Marvel and her other movies.
Are you gonna watch Midsummer?
I'm gonna watch Midsummer. Yeah.
Have you seen Midsommar?
Oh.
You should watch it. No. You should watch it. I think you'd actually like it.
So
you won't sleep, but you like
I've been told it's disturbing, obviously, but it's a very beautiful movie, beautifully shot.
Guys, okay, so my closet in my bedroom doesn't have a door. Yeah. So when you look at it, it's just a black void, right? So anyone that has trouble sleeping would know that waking up in the middle of the night and seeing a black void, it's very unsettling.
All right, I'm going to give you an ultimatum.
So I put a nightlight in there.
I saw that.
So how many nightlights do I have to put in my bedroom now if I watch Midsummer?
Just one.
All right, Ravi, by next Monday, you have to watch Midsommar or Mad Max.
Mad Max it is.
The choice is yours.
Wow. I know, they're both amazing.
I'm doing Mad Max.
Arjuna, was Black Widow good?
Yes, it was.
I'm surprised we were unanimous on this.
What, really? I actually think this is like I
really thought Riley would have said no.
I think it was we're family.
Family sticks
it's
together.
It's a fun, entertaining.
Family sticks together.
It's a fun, entertaining Marvel movie. It's the first Marvel movie we've had in 2 years.
Yeah.
Right. It's the first movie since Far From Home. The first pure Marvel movie with no Sony influence since Endgame. And it was just nice to see a Marvel movie.
I also believe, though, like the movie experience is another big factor because, we all got to the theater early. We're hanging out. We're talking about theories.
Having some beers.
We get food. We're talking, during the 30 fucking minutes of intros. And then after the movie, we're immediately dissecting it. I do, like you said, Christian, you were surprised that I said yes. I truly believe if I watched this movie solo or just with Lauren here, without everybody here, and I was able to pause it, go do something, come back, I probably would be like, nah, fuck this movie.
Really?
So I really think being locked up in a dark room with a bunch of strangers
the movie experience
made me like it.
The movie experience is important. You lock in on the movie.
We have to retrain
And I'm not
our
saying
attention
Christopher
spans.
Nolan is right because he's an idiot,
Wow.
but he might have something
No,
about the movie experience.
so he's right about the movie experience.
Yeah,
he was
that's
just
about it.
wrong about everyone going to see it.
Go
in the
to this
height of
movie or
COVID.
die.
Yeah, exactly. Like choosing a really bad situation. That was what he was wrong about.
And on that note, before we get out of here, as always, we live stream these podcasts on youtube.com/wasitgood. We have a couple of last minute comments that flew in. Christian, you want to bring them up?
Midsummer is good. Also Hereditary. And then it's Tag Your Hat. Hit.
Tag Your Hat.
Also Solo with Lauren. And then Damn.
Because you're saying just watching it solo with Lauren.
Solo with Lauren.
You're kind of dissing
like
Lauren.
you're
You're saying you're by yourself when Lauren's with
And
you.
thank you for tuning in on the podcast. Like I said, every Monday and Friday, we do these pods live on youtube.com/wasitgood. You can follow us on Twitter @wasitgood and on Instagram @wasitgoodbtm. Our next podcast is definitely next Friday, and it is going to be on what, Arjuna?
The Loki
finale.
Caesarini finale.
We'll find out.
Yes.
Some finale of will be the finale of this batch of episodes.
And again, if we do decide to do a pod this coming Monday, follow us on Twitter @wasitgood to find out and jump in and join in the conversation. And with that, goodbye.